Hey YouTube, it's a little early. The sun's quite not up and bright yet, so I thought I'd get a little bit of video footage here with the dark night mode. I shouldn't have said dark, it is a night mode on. I got a little route set in here that'll be a little bit different than yesterday's, a little bit more highway interaction, 2 to 3 lane highway, not interstate. This is where we're starting off. See what we get today. It's a little Monday morning, kind of more rush hour traffic. It's 7:20 here in the morning. So these are most likely commuters here. I'm going to try to show you my left side. Okay, it needs to stop, and it did. That car tapped his brakes. Okay, now there's a nice clear gap. But that was a pretty good creep. I wasn't in the road too much. It's getting better. That was a right turn, not a left, so it didn't have to get over into that median to figure its way. So what I learned yesterday, and thank you all for the comments and the feedback on the video, is this night mode, when the lighting is kind of not creating the GoPro to overexpose, works best. For those of you curious how I do it, I just use one roll, but then I use a mask and a zoom. So, you know, if I do color correction, you know, it has to be on a masked layer. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. All right, so this is the map said it was about a 9-minute drive, so it'll be just kind of there and back to try to get the route to give a similar solution both ways. Someone made a comment yesterday that it looks like I'm actually driving when I'm holding the steering wheel. You know, of course I can let go of the wheel for a few seconds. You know, I kind of give a little tug here and there. But for those that are new and don't understand, if that little blue wheel there is engaged, if I was driving, you know, to apply too much force here, it would actually disengage. You'd hear the tone and the blue would go away. So from a video perspective, if that blue wheel is on, even if my hands are here, okay, we got a good interaction here. There's a bus stop. It's a city bus, not a school bus. Let's see what the car wants to do here. It's not clear behind me. It's staying straight. Okay, now it wants to go around, and it's not really clear. Let me see. Okay, now it's clear if it wants to go, but the cars that are coming from behind me are going much faster. It looks like the car has resolved. This is staying here. This is a good one. It's got flashers. Interesting. This is the first time this has happened to me. Okay, now it's got the blinker on. That's great. See, but okay, it's wide open behind me now. Ooh, it's starting to think about it. Did you see that little flicker? Is it gonna do it? I got the time to wait here. There's nobody right behind me, so I'm just gonna sit here. I think it's glitching. Every once in a while it looks for a solution here. The wheel's turning a little bit. I don't know if you can see that representation there. Is it gonna do it? Wheel's still turning a smidge, but it can't commit to wanting to go around. I don't know why this bus is standing here so long. Okay, just for the purpose of the solution, I'm going to tap the accelerator just a smidge. I did again. There's a little bit of an accelerator. Okay, I'll just go around. Well, it got stuck behind a bus, and I'm going to re-engage here. Interestingly, there's a cone laying on the ground here. It's not really in the way. Let's see if it's mapped. Yeah, I think it was there a little bit. All right, what can I show here? Kind of just a busy intersection. Hopefully it's not underexposed as the sun's coming up. interesting how this car just kind of darted right out. It's plenty of time, but it just changed to the green lead car in perfect time. I didn't feel the car tap the brakes quick or anything as that car jumped out. Something I noticed the other day, and I don't know if you're going to see it, if you zoom in, you can see on this icon that they've got the a rendering of the screen in the car, which is a unique touch I noticed yesterday. And another thing I've noticed recently is when the brakes are tapped by the car, there's a visualization here that shows the red light. Try to show that here in a second. Sometimes I've always wondered, with all the kind of accelerations, I just wanted to be sure that the brake light was actually being tapped in conjunction with all of the okay, we got a little slight turn here. Sorry, my conversation's kind of going all over the place, so it needs to kind of merge to the right here. It's got a lead car. Okay, it did that okay. Yeah, I didn't see a blinker. I have to look back to see if it was there. Now it's got an interesting situation where it needs to kind of get here to the, it's got a slight right with a yield in this turn lane here, so it needs to go over to the right, but it looks like it's going to the left. Okay, this will not work. There's a truck behind me that is going the right way, so I couldn't correct right there, that truck right there. Okay, so now the car is lost. All right. Okay. I'll have to look back and see if that's a mapping error. Just for the visualization, it needed to be over in this lane. And now you can see it's projecting a right turn here. There's no, well, there's a sign right here. It says no right turn, so I can't do that. I don't know if that's showing up in the video or not. So I'm going to be forced to go across the street and come back. Actually, there's nobody behind me. I'm going to just back up a little bit. Yeah, this is why it'll take me a few minutes to make that correction. Sometimes you let the scenario go a little too far, and the car tries to come up with a good solution. I'm going to try to re-engage for this before the yield sign, see if it'll let me. There it is. Okay, you see the yield sign here? So it's got a hard look back to the left, and it kind of just went for it. I don't know if it was yielding for that car or not, but it did it safely. Interesting thing. Got a couple barrels here. Right, the car slowly coming across. Did a little bit of a weave around it. Light turned yellow just as we went under it. Got a cone up here on the right that's just in the road. Looks like it's rendered correctly. light. Looks like we're going to be second or third in line. All right, so the car, the destination is over here to the left. It's just a public library I put in. So the car will have to do an unprotected left here at this light, waiting for traffic coming this way. It's mapping it correctly. The blinker is on, and it looks like it's wide open. If he goes, there's a little bit of a truck up there. Slowly, needs to commit, come on. Okay. All right, it did it. That truck wasn't approaching too fast. And here, it looks like it wants to turn left, but it is at, a navigation complete. Press accelerator to resume. All right. That was good, with a couple of small exceptions. I'll say that the worst one was, of course, the fact that it missed that yield sign. And then, behind the bus, I think that was a little interesting. I don't think it was, overly concerning. It did safely stay behind the bus. Unfortunately, the bus just wasn't moving, so we didn't get to see it try to go around it, which I've seen it try to do in the past. All right, I'll reset a destination, and we'll go from there. Okay, I've got a new route entered in. It's not taking us back the exact same way we came, so we will see some different features. Hopefully. Stopped at traffic control, use accelerator or gear stalk to continue. So I'm right here in this library parking lot. I'm just gonna give it a little bit of a nudge. I guess that's what it needed. I guess it couldn't see. All right, so at this light, it's legal to turn right on red. Autopilot paused, waiting for our turn. Okay, now it's going to start the creep. I'll give you a little bit of a left-hand view. There's a lot of cars coming, so it won't be able to successfully go. Okay, the last car is this one right here, and it could go right now if it wanted. Okay, looks like it's going to try. That worked fine. Bit of local traffic here, which is good. Interesting. Looks like we were behind a trash truck up there. Perhaps is why this little bit of a traffic jam we have here. Route in 2 blocks wants to take a left. I think that'll be an unprotected left, crossing traffic without a signal. Okay, blinkers on. There are cars behind me. Let's see if it goes for it. Yep, okay, there's a car here. It's gonna have to go around carefully. Okay, that was a little close to that sign. It might have made it. It was a little close for my comfort. That oncoming car forced it to be a little bit further to the right than I think it would have normally chosen, but it was going a little too fast for me to trust it. We'll just say it that way. All right, we're back onto the route it wants. Interesting, we do have a truck up here with some flashing lights on it. That's just on the side of the road. It should go around that just fine because that truck isn't going anywhere. It's not going to render it any differently with the flashing lights, I don't imagine. it's rendering it red, so it recognizes it isn't moving. All right, we've done this a couple times. It's a double set of flashing yellows. In the past, it's kind of almost stopped at one of these yellows, kind of like it's doing now. Okay, it's going down to 22. Okay, that was safe. I don't mind it slowing down for a yellow. And this one, it's slowing down a little bit. I think what it's trying to do is make sure it's clear left and right. Of course, the car right behind me is a little bit annoyed because most people go through a yellow without pausing much. Nice lane centering going on right now. This is good. Okay, got another flashing yellow coming up. This is a school zone flashing yellow. Okay, this is good. I've been wanting to see if it was going to slow down to 15 under that flashing yellow, and it did not. So I'm gonna have to manually slow down here because it's a school zone. All right, and there's the end school zone, so I can re-engage. So that was a good example. That flashing yellow was designated 15 miles an hour when flashing, and it wasn't directly honoring that. This is the crazy intersection that if you were watching yesterday's video where it got a little bit confused. It tried to go straight when it needed to turn right. All right, so now here's a regular traffic signal that happens to be flashing yellow right now, which means it's a stop sign for everyone else. So these cars over here to the right, okay, they can't stop there. I press the accelerator. I'm gonna snapshot that one. Only because there's traffic behind me and I needed to kind of follow the laws there a little bit more. Trying to see if it's rendering that trash truck up ahead. I think that's it there. It's a pretty good judge of distance for a large vehicle. All right, I'm not seeing a green arrow being displayed there. So when it's a dual traffic signal, it just showed the green. The sun's starting to come up here, so I'm guessing that this exposure is probably going to change a little bit. I'm probably not going to edit just that little bit minute if that's the case. We've got a couple flashing yellows. This first one that's flashing, hey, there's another Tesla, not many of them in my neighborhood. Flashing yellow is just warning that you need to slow down for this curve. And it did it, it's doing that, it did that great. It did use the blinker, which is unnecessary, in my opinion. All right, coming up on our destination here. I think it's just going to stop on the road, abeam the destination. There's nobody behind me. There is this car stopping here. Since it stopped, I'll let them go and I'll disengage. All right, the second drive definitely had some interesting things in it too. Perhaps not the worst with the mapping issue on the first drive. The disengagement, kind of when it almost got a little too close to that sign, when I had to go around that car. But the decisions it's making, I think in general, are okay. It didn't see the 15-mile-an-hour school zone sign and recognized the speed limit when it was a temporary flasher. It was a little bit obscured by the trees too. All right, let me know in your comments what you think. Hopefully the screen worked out today. I probably won't have any videos for a few days as I've got a flight to New York today, and I won't be back till later in the week. Appreciate your comments below. Let me know what you think. Have a great day.